Can you tell me anything about the Southwest Museum?
Yeah, I went to the Southwest Museum. You wouldn't believe what happened.
Like what?
Founded in 1907 by Charles Fletcher Lummis and opened in 1914, the Southwest Museum was the first museum in Los Angeles, a self-anointed monument to preservation. Its narrative authority came at the expense of the Tongva, on whose ancestral lands the building still stands, and other native peoples whose material cultures it absorbed and warped under the guise of care. The museum's mission unfolded through unidirectional, paternalistic storytelling and speculative myth-making steeped in the colonial imaginary. Rather than any sense of reciprocal stewardship, it rehearsed discrete logics of extraction, displacing living communities in favor of vitrined fictions. I never went, but I see it every time I drive the Arroyo. On the hill, the Southwest Museum looks like a castle. I am drawn to its coloring. Sometimes it's a white that can be warm, like the pink underneath a kitten's nose, or yellow, like a jaundiced eyeball, depending on the day and the mood I'm in while looking at it. It can be a fortress, or a promise, or a sickness that threatens to stiffen my limbs while I'm still alive. The Southwest Museum. I was most drawn to the 260 feet of tunnel underneath, designed to stage the story of the American Indian. At the tunnel's end, an elevator promised transcendence, carrying you upward into a collection that numbered in the hundreds of thousands. Now the doors are locked. Most of the artifacts sit in storage now, off limits, managed by the Autry Museum of the American West. I never made it inside the Southwest Museum before it permanently closed in 2022. The more I read about this closure, the less it made sense. Was it a museum or a hoard? Was it a museum or a reliquary for a dream built on taking things apart and arranging them under glass? Was it a museum? Was it for education? Was it for the public good? These words always seem to hide an oblique transaction. The more I learned, the less any of it made sense. It was a scam, to be sure, but also a dream of order, a dream of holding everything still. The dream had a sexual charge I couldn't explain. Looking into the dark of that tunnel felt like peering into a body, into something private and forbidden. The Autry Museum of the American West positions itself as a successor of the Southwest Museum. But the plaques tell another story entirely. Wells Fargo Theater, Bank of America Gallery. These names aren't ornamental, they're signatures of a deeper ledger. Fiscal sponsorship as signage, culture underwriting capital, capital underwriting culture. It's easy to forget that museums run on the same fuel as every other machine of accumulation. Sponsorship sounds benign, community-minded, even, a civic duty, but it binds cultural authority to financial capital, turning preservation into an instrument of collateral. Wells Fargo's own history is an archive of seizures, land, assets, names etched onto deeds ripped from their owners. Bank of America is no different. Both banks have faced scandals, predatory lending, discriminatory practices, fraud, scandals that ripple through the lives of people whose stories never make it behind glass. The Autry is just one line item in this balance sheet, a soft interface for hard power where the spectacle screens the circulation of capital. Curiosity about the Southwest Museum took me further than it should have. I've always been extremely susceptible to scams. Once, I lost $100 in a razzle-dazzle game on the Venice boardwalk, caught in the shimmer of marbles and patter from a mouth with teeth only in strategic places. It didn't feel that different this time around. Someone told me they had access to what the museum wouldn't show and could answer questions they wouldn't. He spoke in a fatigued but workmanlike curatorial Esperanto. Downsizing, inventory, transactions, sloppy seconds. History does not belong in a vitrine. Downsizing, inventory, transactions, sloppy seconds. History does not belong in a vitrine.
Hey!
Hey, how's
Hey.
it going?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, take a seat.
Thank you. Thank you. Is it here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's your name.
It's Jasmine.
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 Yeah.
Jasmine. And what's this?
It's, I'm recording an interview with. Do you want to introduce yourself?
It's okay. That's all right.
Okay, but you work for the Autry Museum.
I do work for the Autry Museum. Yes. Under
Okay.
your management.
Yeah.
But yes, I do work for the Autry Museum. I'm a curator.
Yeah, and I had some questions for you today just about
Thank you.
the Southwest Museum, which is under the auspices of the Autry, and it has been closed since 2022. And
Well, we've been doing private tours since then, but to the public, it has been closed since 2022.
oh, could I get a private tour?
It's really for buffs and collectors. I look, we divvy it up. That's all I'm
Okay,
gonna say,
yeah.
so.
Well, yeah, about that divvying it up,
Mhm.
there were 400,000 artifacts housed
Oh, yeah.
in the Southwest Museum that have since been transferred to an offsite facility that's operated by the Autry. And
Well, it's managed by the
So
Autry.
what's
We're
gonna
not the
happen?
we're not the chief operator.
so what's going to happen to that stuff?
Well, there is a thing in the. Are you studying to be a curator?
I would consider myself to be one.
Well, when you do become a curator,
Mm-hmm.
there is a term that we use called downsizing. And look, the Autry has 400,000 objects. We can't have that all in one location, frankly. And you got to trim the fat. Some of that stuff is old. It doesn't need to be there anymore, and people don't like it. And the new management has decided that some of these objects are no longer relevant, and they are more relevant in different contexts, and that means different museums, that means free ports, that means different collections.
So like tax shelters for the rich?
I wouldn't say that.
You guys are just
And
burning off your inventory.
Well, I would not say we're selling. Selling is a dirty word. Money's a dirty word, and we don't use that here. We're using a different word. And I think that would be transaction. We're doing inventory transactions with others. So you'll learn more about that when you're older. But, how old are you say?
I'm 26.
Yeah.
So repatriation's not really in the cards.
That is,
So they're
yeah,
trying
some
to
people like to play politics, and I don't play politics, and I don't think it's in the Autry's interest to give certain reservations objects that they frankly have no historic precedent to or background to. They're not relevant to those places.
So what is the future looking like?
The future's looking bright. I think we're sleeker. We have a new rec center at the Autry, and we have a new bathroom. The facilities are looking great.
And that's being
And-
paid for by artifacts? Sales
No,
of
no,
artifacts?
no. These are look. It's a business. It is a business, and businesses run on money, and we are not selling. We are doing transactions of inventory. So these are different budgetary concerns, but that's okay. That's all right. We don't need to.
So is what's in the plastic bag inventory?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I had dibs, but I got sloppy seconds, and these are items that.
Sloppy seconds.
Well, sloppy seconds is a relative term. These are very valuable objects, okay? But they're just not to the current intentions of the people like me who curate the museum. These play to different sensibilities. Tricks of the trade, right? Like different sensibilities. History, I always say, history does not belong on a vitrine.
So it belongs in a plastic bag?
Well, this is a container. It's not the resting place of these objects. And so these are, I'll hold it up to these are postcards. Do you know what a postcard is?
I know what a postcard
Yeah,
is.
These are postcards. People used to write on these and send them, and these actually date to the Teapot Dome scandal from the Harding administration, and these actually were there before the actual museum was built. If you can see this sort of ground, this was here before the Autry, the physical Autry was built, and this bed actually was built years before the Autry, and probably these postcards were made before the actual Autry signed off on them. I don't see even I actually don't even see necessarily a copyright on these. So these probably predate the museum, I would say.
The Southwest Museum or the
Yes.
Autry?
The Southwest, which
This is the
used to be.
built out. This is a postcard of the built out
Well,
Southwest Museum.
I wouldn't say that.
So
When you're coming to experts, I would.
I
not
assume
chime
that
in.
these were
I would
sold
not
in
chime
in the gift shop.
in. They were not sold in a gift shop. They were a private collection for Mr. Autry.
So Charles Lummis was the founder of the Southwest
Sure, but
Museum.
his partner, Gene Autry. Well, oh, sorry. This is my personal favorite. I would. Can you take a deep breath before you? I don't want to breathe. There are particles that can kind of actually decay the contents of what's inside here. I would hold it to the camera.
So this looks like, what is this?
Well, they are ceremonial herbs, and those actually are from the last. Well, we carbon dated the herbs. They're from pre-Columbus. So, please treat this box carefully.
The box is pre-Columbian.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's
yeah.
stainless steel.
Well, a lot of modern aesthetics are influenced by certain older aesthetics.
You could buy
So-
something like this online.
Well, because people are now inspired by pre-Columbian design. This is, look, styles come and go. It's 20 years.
It has a dent on it.
A lot of things have dents on it. It's not a problem. But
I don't.
we
I'm not
have that was
convinced
a part of
that's
that was a part of
a
the
pre-Columbian.
initial exhibit, and that was used in ceremonial rites. I don't know if you've ever heard of Delphi in Greece, but this was used very similarly for funereal rites. Now, Delphi, ancient Greece, would have these women huff fumes, and they would transcribe the contents of their visions.
This has a
And-
serial number on it.
Well, that's a categorization thing. It's a Dewey Decimal System at the Autry. So
And that's white sage with like
not white sage.
dyed
different thing,
thread.
completely different thing. This is psilocybin tinder. It is not found in California nature. And it was used by the Iroquois and the Navajo.
They lived in radically different parts of the country.
Exactly, and that's what is so special about this, that they were able to cultivate this same ceremonial herb in two completely different parts of the country.
I find this to be highly spurious and honestly disrespectful.
Disrespectful. I think this is a little past your grade, and this will make sense when you're done, is all I'm saying. Like when you are where I am, I think this will make a little bit more sense. But you know, Navajo and Iroquois, very different tribes, obviously, very different cultures, but same purpose, same herb. And guess what? History does not belong in a vitrine. So I'm not letting the Autry have this back, and frankly, I'm not going to let you walk away without this. So
I'm not buying any of this. If that's what you think is gonna happen.
well,
It's not real. This is all stuff that could be like in the trunk of your
this
car.
stuff that has been in the trunk of my car because I've been keeping it safe. But this is. Do you know what this is? Yeah? Yeah. This is from Old Mexico. So, Six Flags Magic Mountain has an area titled Old Mexico, and that area was actually built before Six Flags was. It predates to the Mexican Revolution.
Why is there a
and
yin and yang symbol?
because these different cultures have
there's
arrived at these same principles that
polyester thread.
polyester actually this was polyester was modeled after a sort of basin clay that was used for thousands of years.
I
This is a
don't
little
want
bit
it.
of a
I don't
personal-
want
I
that.
might be-
I don't want any of this stuff.
Well,
Cigarettes?
predated tobacco.
There's a barcode and a QR
Well,
code
that's
on
the
it.
Dewey Decimal System.
There's a
And if
QR
we did not,
code on
if
it.
we if we did not categorize at the Autry Museum, things would be a mess. And we actually have the neatest and most organized
There's
collection. in
Chinese
these,
cigarettes.
They don't smoke cigarettes, but that's okay.
It's from
but-
it says from 1999.
That
Since
is the date.
1999.
That is the date the museum acquired it. Was 1999 after a big purchase from a collector of these. I'm actually I'm gonna sneeze because of the dust from this object. It triggers my allergies. A common ailment. You'll find out. When you become a curator.
That's like a curator's disease.
Absolutely, yeah. They call it curation sickness.
Are you sure you're not just some kind of junkie?
Well, you don't get to be Santa without working like an elf. So.
What the fuck?
Um,
This is ridiculous.
I think this is a very important exhibit, and frankly, I have many people who are asking for pieces like this. I'm not going to let you touch it because I didn't see you wash your hands before we started looking at these, and I did wash my hands. And
They look very dirty.
that is because I use a natural stuff. None of this pharmaceutical crap, but that's neither here nor there. And history does not belong in a vitrine. This is a classic. They did not have horses, obviously, but they had horseshoes.
Why would that precede?
Because
Actual horse.
of the ancient general imagery of horses were tied to the mysticism and mythology of these tribes. And when horses did arrive, they knew what they were. See what I'm getting at? And, well, you can touch that one, but
This was probably made in the 30s.
I wouldn't say that. I would say
It could be
this,
even more contemporary
this
than
probably predates, if I just had to date this on the spot, I would say pre-Renaissance. Yeah, this is very pre-Renaissance. This has a
is
pre-Renaissance mold
junk.
to it. I wouldn't say this is junk because the Tonga Hut in North Hollywood actually acquired these, and they have them near the lava rock sculptures, and I think the Tonga Hut knows a little bit more about historiography. That's a word you'll learn. Historiography. Than somebody who is basically just learning about this and buying this stuff off of me.
I'm not buying it.
Well, that's when you make these sort of deals. It's sort of what that's sort of what.
That's
you
a sanding
bring to
block.
it. No, sanding blocks were based off of
This is all just shit that was in your car.
these. It was no.
Broken ceramic?
Again.
A studded bracelet?
Warrior bracelet. Thank you very much. That was a
There's a
hunter-gatherer.
price tag on it.
Again, DDS, the decimal system. So those are pre.
A padlock.
Oh,
Are
that's
you
that's
kidding
easily
me?
from
Are you kidding
that's
me?
from the Spanish Civil War. They had padlocks. Natives, I know this is crazy for you to do. Natives actually had padlocks because we had padlocks by that time, and we had already lived there. So.
I'm not the one that's being disrespectful here.
Well, if you were being respectful, I think you would actually pay for these objects instead of giving a licensed curator a rant on what is and what isn't history. And I do believe history belongs in a vitrine. So.
It belongs in a vitrine?
Well, it belongs on a vitrine that is not in spaces like the Autry Museum, because I think we are trying to do outreach, and I don't really believe this sort of, political push.
Look, I'm not buying any of this stuff. So.
Well, if you ever want to
I
have
hope
a
you have a
career,
good day.
if you ever want to have a career,
I hope you have a good day.
you should probably listen to guys who know what they're talking about.
I'm
and
sick
are
of you
curators.
curator explaining.
Mm.
It's just, I need you to leave, quite frankly.
Well, you're never going to become a programmer without that. We'll talk about
Well, I guess I'm not gonna become a
Yeah.
programmer.
Well, why even call me then in the first place?
Because I had questions about the Southwest Museum that I thought you would actually answer.
That is neither here nor there.
And you're a grifter and a
Grifter.
swindler.
No, I don't believe in those terms. No,
Okay,
no.
well,
That's okay.
see you later.
I would like some from payment.
If I give you $5, will you leave?
I would prefer singles.
I have some dollar coins.
Okay. Good. Keep that in a cool area. Do not let sunlight touch these objects. They will actually age. So dry it up. Yeah, I can be there. No, just a notes. Thank you.
I knew it was junk, and still I kept listening. Still, I considered the price. Maybe that's the part I can't shake. The transaction didn't depend on money so much as complicity. The story of preservation collapsing into the logic of hustle, and me sitting there trying to believe the story about the story. The museum closed, but the structure remains inside my head, inside the stories I was told and the stories I built from them. I thought I was looking for access. Maybe I was rehearsing the same logic. Maybe I was tracing the perimeter of my own captivity, my imprisonment in the story.